Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to the ABAP ritual session where we are learning the interview questions related with ABAP, ABAP on HANA, OOPS ABAP, ALEI docs, OData and a workflow. So the reason behind why we have started this ABAP ritual session over here to just have the self growth. We don't have to ignore ourselves because we generally pay a very huge cost in future if we are going to ignore our ourselves. Self-esteem, self-confidence, competent in the marketplace by having mastery in the interview questions and answer, should have a strong fundamentals, super strong knowledge base, immense, yeah, immerse into the SAP backend ABAP. It's a pillar. ABAP is the pillar of all. ABAP on HANA, OOPS ABAP, OData, workflow, everything. So we have to be master in ABAP. Contribution and of course the health is going to be key for success. Some information we are supposed to take every day if we want to grow in our field of ABAP. Easy and frequently asked question, never ignore. Practice for the niche question like how to handle the BDC in table control, how to when you are going to click on the back button on the module pool program, how to uh, how to pass the mandatory check field. So such kind of niche question, you know. Use intelligently Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, or any social media, right? Use it intelligently. Declutter the digital space. Remove the unnecessary application from your phone or turn off the unnecessary notification. Soft skill like communication skill, your presentation skill, leadership skill, management skill, people management skill, right? Interpersonal skill, all these are very important than the technical skill. Here you can see the 80% weightage goes to this and only 20% weightage goes to this if you want to like in your whole career growth. So if you take any of the COE of the company, they are master of the soft skill, you know, they are master of the soft skill. Helping and contributing to society is the key for success, and all these things again depends on the health. When we talk about the health, physical health and mental health, you have to take care of the physical health like yoga, walking, gym, taking participation in marathon. Mental health, you have to do pranayama, meditation, or you have to be connected with some spiritual organization so that you can perform some spiritual practices. These are very important. Okay, so now let's go and start with the today's session. We are going to revise what we have learned in our last session, and then we'll just go ahead and we will see for the today's session. Okay, so we have seen yesterday what is OIA scenario. We have also seen what is a different standard program given by SAP to demonstrate the OIA scenario. Then we have seen what are the different approach to measure ABAP runtime, right? Then we have seen in detail about the information model. However, information model nowadays is not very much important, but we should have some basic idea. If some question comes from this part, we should be able to give the answer at least. Okay, because earlier development is there. Somewhere you will find the earlier development where attribute view, analytical view, and calculation view is there. Not very much, 5% like that. It is there somewhere, very rarely, but it is there. What is information model? We have seen different types of view comes under the information model. These are attribute, analytical, and calculation view we have seen yesterday in more detail. Here we try to understand what are the different types of information model and what are the corresponding engine in the database is going to execute those particular view. And then what is the different types of attribute view? Again, we have the three types of attribute view, right? A standard time and derived attribute view. Here with this particular diagram, we try to understand how this node is going to behave like, how the inner join between nodes is going to behave like attribute view. And when all these nodes is connected with the fact or measure, then it becomes the analytical view. And when you are going to join more than two analytical view all combinedly together, it becomes calculation view. And calculation view is still very popular and very widely used in BI or BW project. Very, very popular and very, very strong also. It provides flexibility also to write the business logic, because there are two types of calculation view. you know there are one is graphical based calculation view, and another is the SQL script based calculation view. So if we're going to use the SQL script based calculation view, here here you can see, if we're going to use the SQL script based calculation view, here you have lot of freedom to write the complex business logic, and that's why the calculation view is still in very much demand, and it's very fast because it also supports the CE function, calculation engine function. So there are inbuilt CE function, and that inbuilt CE function is very fast in terms of performing the execution. Okay, so this is this is the CE function, and here what today we are going to learn what should be the schema name for SAP system, right? So suppose if you have a SAP system called DV2, okay? Suppose if you have a SAP system called DV2, so now my question over here, just try to give the answer for this question right here in the chat box, right? Here your system name is DV2, okay? Then you have to give your, then what is the name of corresponding schema through which your application server is connected, through which your application server is connected. So write this answer, you know here I want to get your answer. So some people is pinging over here. Let me see what's your answer. Okay, no, I didn't get any answer till now. Just write your answer over here. What you think, your as per SAP standard practice, what should be the name of the schema, right? What is the name of the schema through which your application server is connected? Okay, so once again I'm trying to make you understand this question. Okay, so her case is telling SAP HANA DV2. Okay, fine. uh, this is not 100% correct, but it's okay. The 100% correct answer is, let me try to explain for other people so that they will understand the question. So this is your application server, right? This is your application server, and okay, Jayant is telling S for HANA DB2. Okay, okay, fine. So let us see. First let me explain once again the question over here. So application server, this is the application server, and here that when you go to the status, when you go to some a transaction, let's suppose you go to the transaction AC38, and when you go to the status and you check over there through which your application server is connected with the database, right? So you can find out the database name. But there is also one option is over here through which schema means the dedicated area of the database. What's the meaning of a schema? We have seen yesterday, we have learned yesterday, we understood yesterday that a schema is nothing but a dedicated area in the database, a dedicated area of the database, so that same database can be used for the different purposes, right? So every application server is connected with its default schema. So what is that default schema through which it is going to be connected? What is going to be its naming convention? It is very important question actually. Many a time you will come across this kind of question. Okay, that's why we are putting more focus on this question. So let's suppose this application server name, your system name is DV2, right? Generally we have D1, D2, DV2, like that system name, right? So DV2 is system name, then through which schema it is going to be connected. So the default schema, generally what it should follow the principle that as per SAP standard guideline SAP DV2, it should be the name of the schema through which your system is going to be connected. So this is the naming convention over here, SAP plus system name. Okay, SAP DV2 uh, is the your default schema. However, like if basis people want, they can change its name. This is possible, they can change its name, but this is the recommended recommended schema name. Recommended schema name, give SAP and then the system name, right? HANA and HANA or S4 HANA in between is not suggested. So this is the standard practice which you generally see in your organization, which is there. Okay, so SAP dot the system name. Okay, SAP dot system name. So just go and check in your, like in your organization, what the schema name, what's the default schema name through which it is connected, right? You can just go and check it. Okay, so this is about the uh, schema name. So here you can see the what should be the schema name of SAP system DV2. So the answer is my schema name should be SAP DV2. Okay, what is the formula for determining a schema name? So SAP plus system name. Okay, so by default we can write it here, question, we can mold it like this. What is the formula for determining by default schema name? Okay, however, it is not hard and fast, but it is the recommended approach. Okay, now another question over here, is direction important, is direction important in information model while putting the join? So when you have the attribute view, right, when you are going to create the attribute view, you have to put the multiple join, either text join, inner join, right, inner join between the tables you have to perform, right? So the question over here is direction important? Suppose you are going to put the join from snwd underscore pd to snwd underscore texts from here to here, right? So is it going to give you the different set of result, or it's or just it's like n- it's like uh, in commutative nature, like a plus b equal to b plus a. So is it in nature of commutative, it is of commutative nature, or like it is not in commutative nature? So the question over here, is direction important in information model while putting the join? Yes, direction is very important. Direction you have to take care, otherwise it may produce the wrong result. That's why the direction is important over here. Okay, okay, another question what we have, what is cache invalidation period, what is the use of it? So this can be one tricky question, this can be one important question, right? Let me mark it down that this can be one important question. So simply I will write important, not VVI, but this can be one important question. Okay, this can be one important question. So what is cache invalidation period? What is the use of it? So cache invalidation period is actually, when you create the attribute view, what happens there, you have one checklist over there that you will have to select. And if you select the cache invalidation period checklist, you will have to give some number in microseconds. So the meaning of that seconds means that if we're going to give that particular number 10 microseconds or 20 microseconds or 30 milliseconds, right? So if you are going to give that number, that number is going to represent that. See here how the structure is, right? If you want to fetch some data from the database, what happens when we have to fetch some data from the database, right? uh, the in the backend, right, your database is going to be stored in the hard disk, right? Then when we put the select query, the data is going to come into the RAM, and then from the CPU, right, from the CPU is going to process the data, and it's going to the processed data in our select query into our internal table, right? But just assume that if that data is already there into your CPU at register cache level itself, some of the frequently used data, right? Not all the database data I'm talking about. If some of the frequently used data is there at the CPU layer, is there at the cache level, is there at the registers level, right? The what is the registers, what is the cache, right? So cache is like it's a better version of RAM, right? More costly, more effective, more fast. So if some of the data which is going to be very frequently accessed is there in the cache level, it's your performance is going to be fast, right? So if we're going to give that particular value, right, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, or 30 seconds, there are, you can give value for the cache invalidation period. What will happen that after 30 seconds, the data which is over here, that will become invalid. If you give 30 seconds for the cache invalidation period, so it will not be there in the seconds, it will be there in some microseconds or something like that, microseconds or milliseconds. So after that much time, the data which is there in the cache, that will become that becomes invalid. Okay, so again this data need to be refreshed, right? So that is actually the cache invalidation period. After certain amounts of time, the data which is there in the cache, that is going to be invalid, right? That is going to be invalid. So the time which determines the cache invalidation is known as the cache invalidation period, right? However, this is not good practice to enable. Okay, this is not a good practice. If your data is going to be changed very frequently in the cache, it's not a good practice to enable, right? So leave that part, means leave, just leave as it is, don't enable the checkbox, right? Though it is used to improve the performance if your data is not going to get frequently changed. So if you know that your attribute view is the table which you are going to use over there, so generally we use the master data, right? So master data generally we don't it generally didn't get changed. Master data, it's a very rarely changeable, right? So that's why for the attribute you have this option. So if you want, you can enable, it's your decision. However, as per SAP standard practice, be careful, not good practice to enable. The first point you can see over here, right? Now, what is text table, right? What is text table? So text table over here, you can see it is the table which contains the description or text in multiple languages. For master data, you must have a language field, right? Can you give some example for the, a text table over here? Just give some example right over here. Some popular, uh, some popular text table over here, right? We have MAKT, right? We have MAKT. This is a very popular text table for the Amara, right? So some another example, if anyone can list down, right? There are many text table. One of the very important and very frequently text table which is there is the MAKT T100. Okay, is it text table T100? Yes, in the different languages we maintain the message text over there. Okay. So MAKT, so the text table means if you have some master data, and for that master data you are going to represent the text in the different languages, so that dedicated table is known as the text table. So if we talk about that particular you know scene, then for example, for customer master data, we may have some text. So how to check, like we for a particular table, if we have the text table or not, right? So we can go to the SE11 and we can click on, we can give the name of the master data table, click on the display button, and then under the utility or environment sector section, we will be having one option, one option called text table. Okay, so if we click over there, it will just show that what is the corresponding text table for this particular table. So by that way we can find. So text table concept comes into the picture whenever we have the master data, whenever we have the master data, right? So what is the text table? It is the table which contains the description or text in multiple languages for master data. So master data term is important over here. Multiple language term is also important over here, right? Description or text is also important over here. So description or text maintained in multiple languages for master data, those only will be known as the text table. All the table which contains the description is not known as the text table. All the table which contains the description, which maintains the description in the different languages, will not be known as the text table. Only which stores the text about the master data, that only will be known as the text table. So this is the definition of the text table. Some of the very important question over here, and some tricky question which earlier used to be asked very frequently when information model was you know, rising like anything. Around 2015-16, like that, information model used to be very popular and people were focusing more at that point of time, right? So there, can we have some attribute view name in two different package in HANA DB? So this question was one of the popular question at that point of time. Can we have same attribute view name in two different package in HANA DB? Who will tell this answer? Okay. Who will tell this answer? One of the popular question. Yes, yes, awesome. Harkesh and Jayan, awesome. Yes, that is possible. We have seen, right? This concept we have seen in our last uh, session, that if it is there in the different packages, right? It is like the same attribute view name can be there in two different packages, because that package is going to be have like a separate unit. Okay, so the answer over here is yes, same attribute view name in two different package we can have. Now another question, what is content? What is content? So write the answer over here in the chat box. What is content? Okay. Yeah, separate delivery unit, right? Correct. So the package is used to put, a package is corresponding to the separate delivery unit. That's what Jayant is telling. So that's right. Okay. What is content? What is content? Who will tell? Who will give this answer? What is content? Right here in the chat box, what is content? So the collection of packages. So answer over here is the collection of packages is known as content. Okay, collection of packages is known as content. Okay, so then one question can be, what is the package, right? So package is used for purpose of delivery unit. Means whenever you are going to create a one attribute view or analytical view or calculation view, you have to first, you will have to create one package, right? So this package is different than the package which we create in SEAT. Okay, this package. However, like if you just try to resonate, you will find some similarity, right? We also use the package uh, in order to put that one into the transport request, right? Here also you require in attribute view a package to put inside a delivery unit. Okay, but there, like in application server layer, suppose if you have a created one program in a package, right? So the same program you cannot create even in different package in application server layer, like through AC38. That is not possible. But here, the same attribute view name can be used in different packages. Okay, so that's the difference over here. That's the point over here. Okay, so here the collection of packages is known as content. Another question, does system understand the graphical model? right? So graphical model, like this is the attribute view which we have created over here, right? So does the system understand this one? No, system does not understand this figure, and all system does not understand. That the system understand, the computer understand only machine language, the language of 0 and 1, right? So ultimately all these things is going to be converted into 0 and 1. But before that, actually, before that, you know when you activate the information model, it gets converted into the column view. This is the technical object. Okay, this is the technical object. Okay, so that technical object ultimately gets converted into whatever the machine language and all is there. But that's the basic technical object. That technical object is known as the column view when you activate your attribute view. Okay, so third point here, you can see when we create any information model, it creates a corresponding column view because system does not know the graphical representation. It has to be converted into technical object so that system could understand. Name of the column view is going to be like a schema name dot package name slash information model name. So here you'll have to give answer no. Answer no. Then what it understands? It understands column view, and the name of the column view is, suppose your information model, your attribute view in name, let's suppose your attribute view is 80 demo 1, right? Then column view is going to be what? A schema name. Let's suppose your schema name is SAP DV2. This is the schema name dot the package name, let's suppose demo package, then slash the information model name 80 underscore demo. So this is going to be the name of the column view. Okay, and this will be like in a double quotes over here, schema name here, put into double quotes, then demo package. So like that, it's going to be the name of the column view. This is the technical object. This is actually understood by the system. Okay, so whenever you put any select query on the attribute view, system puts the select query on this column view actually, right? So the corresponding, it puts the select query on the corresponding column view, and this is responsible for fetching the data. Okay, fine. Another question, when we activate the information model, which object is generated? So answer is the column view, right? Answer is the column view. Here, just write it over here. The answer is column view. What is text join? So text join is very simple, between master data table and text table. If we're going to perform the join between master data table and text table, that is going to be known as the text join. What is the a smart inner join? So a smart inner join is nothing but the referential join is known as the a smart inner join. So what is referential join? So referential join, that when you are going to when you are going to check for the Marcy table, right? So their material number is checked with the Mara table material number. So for material number of Mara table, the foreign key relationship is established with the material number. Uh, sorry, if we when we check the material number of the Marcy table, then the foreign key relationship of the material number of the Marcy table is established with the material number of the Mara table. So the check table relationship is there between Marcy and Mara for the material number, right? So if we're going to perform the join, if we're going to do the join between Mara Matner and Marcy Matner, then the correct join option which we are supposed to choose as a referential join. Okay. So even if you're going to create the attribute view, and if you choose another join other than a referential join for Mara and Marcy for Matner, it will tell you that this is not the correct join, right? It will not give you the error, it will not produce the red error, but it will give you a warning that you are not choosing the correct join, right? So wherever the check table relationship is there between two tables, there we are supposed to choose the referential join, because it's going to give you the better performance, lot better performance it is going to give. So that's why very important to choose the correct join. Okay. So this is the, and here, like, see, inner join will also work for Mara and Marcy. Inner join will also work, but if we're going to choose the referential join, right, this is, that's why, see here, the name is also known as a smart inner join. Instead of referential join, you can use the inner join for the check table relationship. That is possible, it will not give any dump or error or something like that, or not a critical error, but to improve the performance, to get the better performance, use the correct join, right? So wherever the check table relationship is there between two tables, and if you want to perform the join on that using the attribute view, use the referential join, which is also known as the smart inner join. Okay. Text join also, for text join also, for suppose between Mara and MAKT you want to perform, you want to put the join, right? So it will support inner join as well. It is not like that it will give you the error or something like that, but better, why not to choose the text join? Because text join is made for that particular purpose only, to join the master data table and text table. Okay. So choosing the correct join is going to improve the performance. This is one good question. What are the different types of hierarchies? Okay. This is, all the questions are, all such questions are going to be obsolete because of, uh, because of not popularity of the attribute view. Okay. Because of the obsolete, obsolescence of the, information model. However, let's have a quick, we'll not put more focus on this, just understand the basics, right? What are the different types of hierarchies? So whenever, create the attribute view, okay, whenever you create the attribute view, or when you create the, uh, okay, so her case is raising hand, let me unmute him, and he's trying to tell something. Just just a second, Harkesh. I'm going to unmute. Yeah, Harkesh, go ahead.
Actually, in referential join, I think I have read that in referential join, if we are selecting data from the two tables
Mm-hmm.
and giving the one table fields, then it will only get the data. It will only select that data from that table only that have the fields.
That's why it improves the performance. Okay.
Okay.
That's why it improves the performance. So you have to join the table, right? And because, see, the logic here behind this is actually in the course I have explained in very nice a way. It will
Mhm.
take time, that's why I was not
Okay.
going
Okay.
inside. So if you have the Mara over here and Marcy over here, right? So if you have the referential join between Mara and Marcy, and let's suppose if you have to fetch the data from Marcy table, right, and Mara table using the referential join, then system will just fetch the data from the Marcy. It will not go and perform the inner join, between Mara and Marcy. Why? Because already system knows that whatever the data in Marcy is the valid data, right? Because check table relationship is established for the material number with Mara, right? So it will not go and perform the actual inner join. It will not perform the actual join. It's a kind of lazy join, right? It's a kind of association. If you know the concept, we'll discuss this concept in CDS, right? There
Yeah.
it's going to be very interesting topic. That's why, association is also so powerful, so powerful in CDS in terms of performance and all if we talk about, right? So it's a differential join we can also compare with a kind of lazy join, right? Because it's not going to perform the actual join, right? Because already it is checked, then why again and go and unnecessary, you know, inner join to do, right? So that's why it's going to improve the performance, because already foreign key relationship and check table relationship is there. That's why, it is not go and check.
Means validate the value based on the foreign key check table.
Because already it's validated. System assumes that value is already validated. So why to go and check again from Mara? Instead of checking from Mara, it directly takes the value from Marcy itself. And that is true
Yes.
also, right?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now the here, what are the different types of hierarchies? So there are two types of hierarchies. But let's first try to understand what is hierarchies. So hierarchy is nothing but, see, hierarchy is nothing but like this is one root node, and under the root node you have the child node. All right, you have the child node. So if some of you, right, who is having like 2 or 3 years of experience, more than 2 or 3 years of experience, and if you have worked in Excel, right? So in Excel, when you create the pivot table, then when you expand some node, it will start giving you some value for that particular node, right? So this comes under the hierarchy. Okay, this comes under the hierarchy. So there are, you know there are two types of hierarchy basically. There are two types of hierarchy basically: label based hierarchy and parent child hierarchy. So what is label based hierarchy? So label based hierarchy, one good example over here you can see. You have the main category, subcategory, and under the subcategory you have the products. So it might be little confusing, it will take some time for you to understand. And this label based and parent child hierarchy, you will see that, that it looks like both same. But when you focus on this, let me try my level best to make you understand over here. Just read the definition over here for the label based. Okay, so label based means, for the label based hierarchy, it is somewhere related with label. Label, label based hierarchy, you can resonate with label. Okay, so here see, the label based hierarchy, relationship between master data with respect to groups. With respect to groups, these groups can come from multiple tables. So if you have some relationship between master data, where you are going to talk about the groups, right? So you have a group of main category, then you have the group of subcategory, right? And again, under the subcategory, you have the different product, right? So if you take one example of laptop, right? So under the laptop, you have the business laptop, right? Main category is laptop. Under the laptop, you have the business laptop, you have the home laptop, you have some gaming laptop, right? So that is the subcategory. Under the under the gaming laptop and different kinds of laptop, again you have the different kinds of laptop product, right? So this kind of laptop categorization, you can use the label based hierarchy. Okay, but when you talk about the parent child hierarchy, here you have only single table you are going to talk it about. From the single table, your data is going to be faced from a single table. Okay, in the label based hierarchy, your data is going to be faced from the multiple tables. Okay, so read here the definition. The relationship works as self relation. In this, the table has a relation with itself, means same table is going to relate with himself. Okay, and mark one of the column as parent and another as a child. For example, manager, employee. So you have only single employee table, right? And in the single employee table, you have the manager and employee associated with each other. In the single employee table, someone will be manager, someone will be employee, right? So if you want to identify whether you have to choose the level based hierarchy or the given hierarchy comes under the level based hierarchy, or the parent child hierarchy. The trick over here is, if the data is going to come from the different table, just be blind and tell directly that that is going to be your label based hierarchy. So your answer should be, you know label based hierarchy if the data is going to come from the different tables. Okay, if your data is going to come from the same table, just be blind and tell without any second thought the hierarchy is going to be your parent child hierarchy. So this is the trick how you can, because it becomes really very difficult to understand this concept, very confusing concept. But if you remember like this, if the data is going to be come from the single table, that hierarchy is going to be parent child hierarchy. If the data is going to come from the different tables, your hierarchy is going to be known as the label based hierarchy. So by this way you can just remember it. Okay, this is a big topic in fact, uh, because this is not very important. Let's ignore this one. Just understand the basics so that if you come across, you should not think like you don't know anything, right? So we have little more detail over here. See your label based hierarchy, from different master dimension tables you are going to get the data, right? Here you have the main category label 1. This is the level 1. Here you have the level 2, right? And here you have the level 3. So different level actually you have over here, right? When you have the parent child hierarchy, same table and creating the relationship. For example, you have the employee table. In this table itself you have the manager records. You don't require to have the separate table for manager, right? Hierarchy manager. So this is what we have just discussed. This is again one important question. What is the different type of join? Not VVI, not very frequently asked, but this can be one important question. What is the different types of join? Text join, temporal join, star join, and spatial join, right? A spatial join. What is this? Text join we know already. Between the master data and text table, if we're going to do the join, that is known as the text join. What is temporal join? Temporal join is also known as the equi join. So between a time frame, if you want to find out the data between a time frame, that is known as the temporal join. What is a star join? A star join is used to join more than one analytical view. A star join is used to join more than one analytical view, means more than one fact table, right? Each analytical view should have at least one fact table, right? So there are different definition, any one definition. If you understand the concept, we're talking about the star join, right? In this we're talking about the star join. This is nothing but your star join, right? And here single star schema represents the analytical view, right? This is your star join. So so that's what we are discussing over here. So a star join is nothing but the join between analytical view. Very simple. Join between analytical view, very simple. A spatial join. So if you want to find out the data between the coordinate of the earth, right? Coordinate of the geographical area. Okay, so whenever you want to present some geographical area, you are going to present it with the help of coordinate, right? Any geographical area is presented with the help of a coordinate. So used to join, a spatial join means, a spatial join means the join between a table along with the coordinate fields of the table. So here see, used to join coordinate fields of the table. So if you want to perform like some geographical related join, right? So whenever you are giving the answer, your term should contain geographical word. If you just able to manage to tell the geographical word, right? Geographical. Whenever a spatial join comes, geographical area comes into the picture. And that geographical area, why comes into the picture? Because all the geographical area can be presented in terms of coordinate only, right? So whichever the field is representing the coordinate fields, and if we're going to put the join between those fields, then that join is known as the spatial join. So the join between the tables with the fields which represents the geographical area. That means coordinate fields is known as the spatial join. Hope it's clear for you. Spatial join. What is the spatial join? A star join between two and between two or more than two analytical view. Temporal join between time related view, time related field. If we're going to perform the join based on the date and time field, right, from the fact table and the time interval to and from fields from the master data view, that is known as the temporal join, right? Text join, we understood this one, so hope this is clear for you. And now analytical view, let's try to understand a bit about the analytical view. Okay, so till now we were just understanding about the attribute view. Analytical view is generally going to be used for the purpose of OLAP. Okay, for the purpose of OLAP. The attribute view is for the purpose of OLTP. Okay, analytical view is for the purpose of OLAP, and that's why analytical view is going to be run by the OLAP engine, right? So when an attribute view is combined together with a fact table, when an attribute view is combined together with a fact table, see here, when an attribute view, this, so the joining together this dimension, and again after joining this, you are going to combine with these cells right over here. So this combined together is going to be your analytical view. That's what the definition of analytical view. Okay. Uh, just go through these slides if you want to learn more about that. Calculation view. What is calculation view? What are the different types of calculation view? Okay. So calculation view is of two types. One is the graphical calculation and another is the script based calculation view we have seen. And again in a script based you have the two types. One is based on the CE function and another is the pure SQL based calculation view. Okay. So here how the performance is going to be in this calculation view. Also you have the performance performance order. So if we're going to create the calculation view based on the CE function, calculation engine function, inbuilt function given by the SAP, this CE function is directly implemented at the you know at the at very lower level of the database, right? Means it's a uh, very close to the heart of the database. That's why it's going to be very fast. It's kind of inbuilt function, the C function. We'll see some example for the C function. Okay. And another is the pure SQL based calculation view. So there are two types of a script based calculation view. So what we understood over here, calculation view is of two types. One is one is the graphical calculation view, by dragging and dropping, dragging and dropping, we are going to just put the join and all. That is the graphical calculation view. That is also possible, right? So this is actually, so this is your attribute view, and one more fact table you are going to add it over here. So when fact table is going to join with this attribute view, it will become analytical view. And again one more attribute view over here, again let's suppose one more attribute view you have over here, one more attribute view you have over here, right? And here this is again one fact table. So this is one another fact, this is one another analytical view, this is your another analytical view. You are going to join together now, right? With the in the graphical editor you have the option to join together. Okay, you have that option, like this only it will be looking like. And that if you are going to do like that, that is known as the, that is known as actually uh, the graphical calculation. Means it will be the same like attribute and analytical view. This one. Another calculation view how you can create. For this you should know the SQL script. If you are good in the SQL script, you can write the good calculation view, right? SQL script you should know. You should be good in the SQL script programming. Okay. So the second one is the SQL script based calculation view. And the SQL script calculation view is again having two types: CE function based calculation view and pure SQL based calculation view. This is again of two types. Okay. So here your complete SQL script comes into the picture. Pure SQL script, right here, the second. So the number one performance, the from the performance wise, C function takes the highest priority. Then you have the pure SQL based calculation view, the second one, this one, and then graphical calculation. So this is going to be very fast, C function based. Okay. However, this is most popular. Pure SQL based calculation based is the most widely used and most popular. Most popular. This this is not having very much flexibility because you have the limited number of C function, right? This is having, this is a script based, SQL script based, you know, and here you can do anything, right? So this is the thing. Mm, but one good thing is that in the SQL script based, you can combine the C function, you can use the C function inside this. Okay, you can, so you can have the mixture of both as well. You can use the C function inside the inside this pure SQL based script view. Okay, let's do one thing, let's stop over here, and tomorrow we'll see some another stuff here, that how to consume an information model in application program. This is again very good question, very, this is a VBA question, in fact. Okay, this is a VBA question, you are not supposed to ignore this question, we'll see. Okay, VBA question. And here, what is C function? I will show you some of the C function over here. Analytical view, join multiple dimension, we have seen many times this one, this analytical view. Let me delete this. This is some example of C function, it is there. I will try to elaborate tomorrow. What is HANA transport container? We'll try to understand what is HANA transport container. Okay, and then we'll see what is native SQL and ADBC, right, and which is better. So we'll just try to understand this, native SQL and ADBC. Native SQL, that is fine. Okay, so let's meet tomorrow, and we'll be having, the tomorrow the session for this question, and today we are going to stop it here only. Okay, fine, then let's meet tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be having again the interview questions and answer session. After one day or each 2 days, we can have the questions and answer session, where the people can help each other, we can help each other, we can get help, we can take help of each other, and we can help to each other, both things, right? If you have any question, please feel free to ask over here, or you know we can just leave now. So now you are allowed to unmute yourself, and you can ask the question. If you something you want to discuss, please feel free to and discuss. And
Yeah,
yeah, yes,
quick
go ahead.
follow-up.
Hmm.
How do you differentiate between a C function-based calculation view? Both are SQL scripts, right? C
Right.
or Q.
Yeah, that is true, that is true, both comes under the SQL script only. So
But how do you
that's,
differentiate between these two?
yes, good question, good question. So see, we can differentiate something like, there is a no separate differentiation between the SQL script view and then the CE based, CE based SQL script. So when we create the SQL script, there itself we start using the CE function, right? There is no uh, separate indication. Actually, there is no separate editor or something like that where we have to go and create the CE based, but this is actually, this is how it is. There are two types of, SQL script based calculation view. So I think, like, if we're going to use mostly the C function, then it will become your C function based, C function based script view. And if we're going mostly to use a non-CE based function, right, then it will become, but however both comes under in one category only. So whenever we are going to create the SQL script, it depends, either you are going to use the C function only. If you're going to use the C function only, then it will become the C function based calculation view. But if you're going to use only the pure SQL, then it's going to be your pure SQL based calculation view. There is no, you know, separate things where you can go and write only the C function and where you can write only this one, right? That's why we have the flexibility. That's why it's comes under the script based calculation view, and that's where we have the flexibility that we can use both together as well. Okay,
Okay.
so good question. uh, Here one thing I would like to uh, announce over here, that